In today's video, I'm talking about times when you're too nervous, too afraid to look wrong, where you don't want to mess up, you don't want to look stupid. And I will share a little bit at the end of how to work through a little bit of those things to do for yourself, to work through these concerns, not wanting to look wrong, not wanting to be stupid or mess up. So I am AmyC with You Finding You. I'm an intuitive and transformational coach, and I help individuals step into who they really truly are in themselves, help them work through things in themselves of having to meet other people's needs or having to transform to be something different to fit in. And instead, it's finding who you truly are and becoming your authentic self. So years ago, I was traveling to Asia and backpacking around different countries in Asia. And I flew into Bangkok and then I've continued up to Chiang Mai and was staying in this, little hotel in Chiang Mai and venturing out during the day or venturing out more in the evenings because it was so hot during the day. But when I arrived, I was so afraid to actually go out and be. And I ended up finding myself spending many days in the hotel rather than going out into the world. And I would finally like talk myself into going outside and, going out in the evenings when it was cooler and, venturing out and getting street food or, going to the local market. Some days I signed up for some tours, but again, it was a struggle just to get out and go sign up for these tours. And I share this story because there's so many situations, of people with social anxiety or people where it is so hard to take these steps. And what I have found over the years for me is that the reason these steps and like doing this trip is that I had no idea the rules of the culture, and I didn't want to look wrong. I didn't want to look stupid. I didn't want to mess up. I was too afraid of how I would look and be perceived that it kept me in the hotel. It was like, I don't want to go out there. I'm too afraid people will laugh at me. They'll criticize me. They'll not even laugh. It's like they'll see that I'm doing this wrong and they'll hate me because I'm doing it wrong. So again, I bring up this story of, oh, here I am in Thailand. I've traveled from the United States all the way over there to do a week, of, adventuring around Chiang Mai and seeing different cities on some different tours, and going to the night market, like enjoying and being able to enjoy this culture, yet I could not get out of the hotel, and I did, like I said, I like had to fight myself to get outside and get past the fears of how am I going to look. And at the time, I had no idea that it was about how I was going to look, or I was, or afraid that people would hate me, because of doing something wrong. I obviously look different from the people there, so obviously I would look like a tourist. I would hope that, people at the time, I was like, I hope that I don't look too horrible or too, mean or bad. So these things that go through our heads of, I don't want to look wrong, it's like you're not even aware that you're going to look wrong or that the fear is around not doing it correctly. So we have this thing of wanting to do it right, not wanting to mess up because we're actually more afraid of the judgments from others. We're more afraid of maybe, like I said, I was going to be hated. Like I didn't want people to hate me. And that's kind of extreme when you think about it of like, oh, maybe I walked out on a street with traffic and people are like, no, don't do that now. That's, the crosswalk over there or something like. I'm like, I don't know the rules here. It's different. but they're not going to hate me for it. They're actually probably going to come and help me out and be like, no, you go over here, like to the crosswalk or something, you do it differently. It's like people would just step in and help me out. So I talk about, again, that example as something of these fears of how we're going to look and how we're going to be perceived, and fears around not wanting people to not like us. And it's all based on, if I look wrong, if I mess up, if I don't know, like I've said over the years, as I travel and as I live in different countries, it's like, oh, I don't know the rules here. Like the cultural rules, if you want to call it that, are different. The way we interact might even be different. The way we greet each other, or leave situations, like they're going to be different. So not knowing the rules, it's like, oh, I'm afraid I'm going to be judged and then not liked and then or hated. So I wanted to point out these situations and times where we're so afraid of looking wrong or looking stupid that we don't even take steps, or we don't even go forward, or like we don't enjoy life and really live it. Like the story I was telling about being in Thailand, where it's like I had a week I could go out and enjoy every single day and take in the scenery and connect with people and connect with the beauty of the place and enjoy the foods. It's like I had a week of it and I spent so much of it there in the hotel room out of my own fears of how I would look, of how, I might be criticized or judged. So working through those fears, working through those situations will allow you to step into loving your life, living your life, enjoying your life. But it does take working through these fears, or it does take being okay that other people might judge you or see you in a certain way. Being okay in yourself that people might hate you. People might not like you. And it's like, how do you work into a place where you're okay? You're okay. And it all starts within you to be okay. So whatever these other people say, whatever they do, if they do judge, that's on their side. That's them, and it's not you. But how do you step into knowing that? And knowing that, one of the big steps is stepping into your own worth. So stepping into knowing who you are and your own worth. And that allows you to be like, oh, I see. They're asking me to do something differently. Oh, okay, this is how they do it here. It's rather than, oh my gosh, they're going to hate me and I'm not going to, I'm not going to do things right, so I don't want to go outside. I don't want to deal with it. Instead, it's like, oh, they're actually helping me out because I don't know this, and they, okay, cool. So it's coming from a different place in yourself, becoming aware that you have these fears in yourself and starting to work through them, noticing when these fears come up, and then also stepping into your worth, knowing who you are, knowing your intrinsic values, what you have to offer the world. And with little bit, you'll start to see different times and places where you are concerned and have fears of how people might react to you, where you don't know the rules or you don't know what to do in these situations. But being okay in yourself, that's where it starts. So thank you for joining me today. If you are getting value and enjoying these videos, do hit that like, share, and subscribe button below, and I will see you in the next video.